Hello everybody, it's the 8-week portrait class. Don Giannetti here. We're going to be looking at one of my favorite photographers, Peter Lindbergh. I have several of Peter Lindbergh's books, and I am such a big fan. Peter Lindbergh prefers to shoot in black and white, but believe me, he shoots plenty of color. There is a link on the page that will take you to all of his editorials since about 1978, I believe. And you'll see there's plenty of color there. He is a fantastic photographer. Very simple in his approach, but you'll also see in the videos the huge amounts of production that go into what looks like a very simple photograph. Peter Lindbergh always travels with a black tent. He sets up this black tent and will do portraits right in the opening of the tent. So one side faces north for the north light, and then we have two sides of black, and the back is black, and the top can be rolled back a little bit if he needs to be. And you'll see the tent on the videos as well. So first discovered Peter Lindbergh when I first started shooting models, and just absolutely became a big fan. If I could shoot like anybody, I think I probably pick Peter, because his work with the subjects is so natural. They don't look like they're posing. They don't look like they're glamorous models. They just look like people being photographed. And you'll see what I mean. Lindbergh's work is worldwide. He works for almost every major fashion magazine, many fashion advertising shoots, from Calvin Klein to Dolce & Gabbana, you name it, Peter Lindbergh's shot it. German-born photographer, and someone I think you're really going to like. So let's take a look. Now, I believe that being a fashion photographer qualifies you to be a portrait photographer because you are photographing people. So that's my take on it, and that's the way we're rolling. When I chose these photographers for this class, I obviously chose people I really liked. So if I'm going to talk about photographers, it's people I really like. Gorgeous photo of Kate Moss back when she had dark hair, and lovely shot with very limited depth of field, very soft contrast. Do you know that? Notice that. That's something that we're going to be looking at with a lot of Lindbergh's work. Very soft prints, not high contrast at all. As a matter of fact, most of his work looks like he's taken the contrast slider on Lightroom and slid it left. That said, most of the work that we're seeing is film, and I believe Peter still shoots a lot of film. I imagine he's moved into the digital age. Everybody has at this point, but he still shoots a lot of film, and loves the look of film. Like I said, he does shoot mostly black and white, and I think this entire class here is in black and white. However, you can shoot in color if you would like for your assignment. So, Kate Moss, super simple photograph. Notice the nice little posing thing here that he's doing, keeping the head up and forward on the neck, and then twisting the shoulders just a little bit. Just get that little twist in there that helps create a dynamic in the shoulders that lets the head rest perfectly on top. You'll also notice that Kate doesn't look like she's an uber model in this. She's not overposed. She's not voguing out, so to speak. Just a very simple photograph. Probably window light or large scrim in a studio, possibly. Notice the feeling of black all the way around, and I say that because you'll notice, as you know, Karsh was a couple of weeks ago, and Karsh would have a rim light here. We don't have a rim light on Ketron. We have falling off into black, or in this case, a very dark gray. We also have super soft contrast. Yes, this is the shadow side, but also we see that the shadow side is got some detail in it. Now, I look into the eye and I don't see a fill. So before I start wanting to go down the road of fill card, I'm going to go down the road of underexposed, overdeveloped, or I'm sorry, overexposed and underdeveloped in the zone system. Overexposed and underdeveloped. So we overexpose and get our shadows. I'm sorry. Again, it's overexposed, underdeveloped. So we overexpose and get our shadow detail, and then we pull our development before the highlights get cooked all the way. In Photoshop, we use a little slider and we lower the contrast, and that gives us a nicely lit highlight area, but shadows that don't go too dark. If you take that slider and move it to the right, you'll notice that we start to lose detail over here. And that's something rare in a Peter Lindbergh photograph. It's not unheard of, but it's rare. And again, notice the very accessible face. Notice the hair, kind of natural, pulled back, falling down here and there. Very natural, really natural pose. Sharon Stone, American actress. Simple hair pulled back. And look at the framing of the face with those two sleeved arms. I think the texture in the sweater really sets off her smooth skin. So we have this little rough texture here, and then her face kind of buried back into it. Really, and again, notice the black all the way around. Notice the black right on the shoulders here. Notice how the hair goes up into black. If this was Karsh, there'd be a hair light. If this was Skrebneski, the light would be higher. This is Peter Lindbergh, and the light is from the front. It's very ambient. It's very soft. It's very undirected light. Notice our shadows. They're just sort of there. Is the light up a little bit? Yeah, probably, but it doesn't have a direction that we can really solidly say. It just seems like these areas that are tucked down where the darkness is are picking up darkness. The rest of it, the light just seems to be floating everywhere. Beautiful photograph of Sharon Stone. This is a really cool fashion shot, and I like it. I think it shows a little Peter Lindbergh's fun. He does a lot of work like this for Vogue. Black and white, simple backgrounds. You can tell a Peter Lindbergh shot because usually it'll have a very simple background, not something overly dramatic. However, you'll probably find those if you start going through his editorial. You'll probably find a few of those as well. In his books, you'll rarely find them. They're usually not the shots that he puts in his books. And Peter is all about books. He's put out a half dozen books of just pure photographs. Most of them black and white. In fact, all the books I have are in black and white. So we have light on the background and a light on the model far enough to the left, camera left, that the model's shadow, if there's a shadow, it's either falling on the floor back here or on the wall over here. Notice the shadows over here and out of the frame. So we have this light coming in up here, and we have a light on her. And then in front of that light that's on her, there's a card. You can see it right there. And that card is blocking the light from her legs, but it's also creating a shadow here in the ambient light that's lit up a little bit from this very bright light up here. You'll see in the videos lots of movie lights, lots of Fresnel lensed movie lights. He loves the softness of the edge. He likes the directionality of it. Since he's shooting black and white, the color temperatures don't really matter. So lots of that. And again, notice the pose, S curve, in this way, out this way, legs coming straight, but not overly contorted. That's overly contorted is not a Peter Lindbergh look. Peter's women look natural. They look real. They look accessible. They look they look feminine, and they don't look overly made up. Again, we have a little bit of a, hair coming down and falling. So nothing of the giant coiffed hairs and things like that is usually not part of his style. This is a photograph of Carrie Young, and this is one of those portraits that's such a defining Peter Lindbergh portrait. Simple pose, dramatic angle, and really, really simple lighting. There doesn't seem to be much lighting on this at all. It's like an overcast day going up into the light. The light's up here. It's not down here. No fill card, no nothing. Also notice very little retouching. We still have some anomalies on Carrie Young's face here, some little bumps and ridges and etc. on her face that the many photographers would take out, and he would, of course, take it out too under circumstances for shooting for clients. But he loves to shoot the natural looking woman as she is, as pretty to him is as an overly photoshopped face would be to others. I mean, he loves the real look of the woman here, and I do as well. I just think it's fascinating. Love all her freckles. Just a beautiful shot, real simply done. This one is kind of cool because it has, let's look at the subtle S curve for a moment. We got the line coming this way. We got a line breaking it that way. So now the body goes this way. And then the leg continues out. So the S isn't really completed. It's because she doesn't even really look like she's posing. She's also breaking a whole bunch of, quote, posing rules, unquote. Number one, she's grasping the chair with this arm, and that's making her shoulder to be jutting out. Whenever a model puts any weight on this arm at all, it'll create that shoulder to come out. Sometimes it'll create a great big muscle along the upper part of the arm. And you can see how big her shoulder looks here compared to how soft it looks here because there's no weight on it. So he's breaking rules, and Peter Lindbergh knows all these rules. Trust me, he knows all these rules. Nothing's left to chance. These are the photographs he wanted. The pose is almost an anti-pose. It doesn't have the look of a glamour model or a fashion model. It's almost as though she's just sitting there waiting for an opportunity to be photographed. That's it. And maybe she's not even in wardrobe yet. Just a little hint. Notice the simple background, simple floor. Notice the lighting. We got one up here and one down here. Another one of the portraits that inspired me a long, long time ago to want to shoot women. This is how I see my photography, and this is the kind of photography that I just absolutely go nuts over. It's really, really simple. It presents a beautiful face in a beautiful setting. The light is just there. It's not banging on her. It's not 5 different speculars here and there. It's just there. It's just a pretty woman being captured by film or digital. Notice the light notice all this black behind her, right? Notice how her arm goes off to black. See, this makes me think it's one of the black tent shots that he does a lot, or similar. I mean, he doesn't necessarily have to use his black tent. He can set it up with black cards. You all can do the same with black cards, and just let this very, very natural light and the natural look to the hair. Let the wind blow the hair. Let the model be herself rather than trying to look as though she's not herself, but something else, a mannequin beyond reality. And I just love this photograph. This one's fun. This is a flag again. Notice he likes this use of flags. I'm always looking for something to break up the light. I think it's a blast when it does that. We have this great thing in her hair here. Now, it's made up to look like the wind is blowing, but I'm not really sure it is because these guys aren't blowing there, are they? This is blowing out, but why is it blowing out? Well, could be that there's somebody over here holding it to give it this dimension. She's leaning into it. Maybe she's pivoting from one side to the next to come around to him. You'll see in the videos he keeps his models moving. You'll learn a lot about portrait and fashion photography from the videos, watching the models and watching how they don't ever stop. They're not posing, click, posing, click. That happens on Model Mayhem. It doesn't happen on the pages of Vogue. The models keep moving. The photographer catches that motion. So we don't know really what's going on here, but you could have someone over here holding that up. Sure gives a great dimension to the photograph, doesn't it? With this flowing out and then this black mysterious shadow coming right across the front of her. This could be a street light or a street sign, right? We don't know. Could be a black card in place too. Isabella Rossellini has been considered one of the most beautiful women in the world, and you can see how she's portrayed here by Peter Lindbergh. Notice the gray tones to the skin. She's not a zone 6 face, she's a zone 5 face. She's very, very gray toned. A little bit of warmth in this photograph, but very gray tone, very much reminiscent of stuff that you would see Edward Weston, Steichen, Adams, Imogen Cunningham. Those famous black and white photographers would very often rate skin as a zone 5. Today in fashion, we generally rate skin as a zone 6, Caucasian skin, letting African skin go to zone 5 and zone 4. But here, he's kept her quite dark. The eyes are not quite white. They're a little bit dark, a little bit in the gray tone. So he's kept everything down and very soft contrast. There's not a lot of contrast to it. So this is a very interesting photograph. Notice how Isabella Rossellini doesn't have perfect skin everywhere, because when she's made up, she's absolutely like a porcelain doll. If you look up Isabella Rossellini, you'll see what I'm talking about. Fantastic, beautiful woman. And he captured her essence here in this photograph. Here we go, with a little bit brighter skin tones, a little bit more contrast, maybe a bit of studio work here, but still in keeping with his favorite style. Black background, letting her fade into the black. Notice the black shoulders over here. Little bit of highlight right here, but the light is coming from the side, so it's taking care of this shoulder, but this shoulder is not lit up, nor is the hair lit up. No hair light, no rim light, just soft, almost undirectional light. Kate Moss for Calvin Klein. Black all around her. Notice her back reflecting black here. Notice the back of her arm reflecting black. Notice the hair is only reflecting in this area here. It's because whatever the light is, I tend to think it's probably natural light right outside the doorway or something. A little bit of tonality back there. I think that's hair coming down. I don't think that's in the background. I think that's hair. A little bit of tonality back there, and a very, very overall soft portrait with almost no direction to the light. The light just seems to be everywhere. And that's one of those ambient light things that you can do in the black tent. Wonderful image. It's one of my favorite shots as well. Beautiful. Look at this soft light coming in. It looks like a window, large window to the north, large window light. And again, very soft contrast. We go to the shadow side of her and we still have detail in here. And yet there's no highlight. So there's no real sign of a fill card, definitely not a fill light. If there was a fill card over here, we would most probably have a highlight here. I don't know how we could put a fill card here, have it go that dark, and not have a highlight. It would just be a specular on her skin. Skin is a semi-reflective surface. We would see it somewhere, and we're not. We don't see it up here at all. We don't see it in the eyes. We don't see it on the corner of the. Generally, this part of the eye will pick that up. Generally, this part of the nose will pick it up, and nothing's happening. So this is very, very soft light, very soft contrast, and nothing in the picture to pull our attention away from her gaze, which, by the way, looks totally unaffected. She looks aloof. She looks a little bit uninterested, a little bit within herself. Just a really nicely done portrait. More dark skin tones. Zone 5 all the way through. Light from the front, side, and nowhere else. Great pose, straight down, over, and just a little curve back in the hair. Boom. Just a really nice, clean pose here for Maria Carlo. I like this shot a lot. I think it's really, really natural. And she looks like she's in the middle of just combing her hair out. It looks like many times when you tell a model, take 5 and, hold up for a second, relax for a second. We'll get to it in a second, and they'll start to maybe look in the mirror and adjust their hair or something. Those are the moments that it seems to me that he takes. And those are the moments I love so much. Here's the lone color shot in the series. Probably shot for this accessory here. I can't read that there. Somebody will read it for me. But probably shot for this purse. But notice how he brings that very same sensibility from his black and white work into the color work. Lighting that seems almost ambient. We do have a dark shadow back here because she's right against the wall. She's right up against it. This little shadow back here helps define her face and define the direction of the light. You have a little bit of a shadow there, but you'll notice how big and soft that light is because how big and soft the specular is on this leather purse here. Diane von Furstenberg allowed him to photograph her. She is a famous, iconic fashion designer. And he photographed her with all her freckles and lines and bumps, and her hair is all beautiful. This was shot in a hotel room with hotel room lighting. And I do believe, by the way, that we're looking at a mirror of her. I believe this is her right here, staring into the mirror. So he's shooting that way. So his lights are all around. You see him up there. It's probably makeup lights or mirrored lights around the mirror. Makes a great shot and a beautiful feeling to it. Not a fancy production. However, if we were to pull the camera back, there would probably be more to this photograph than meets the eye. That's the way he works. So this may be shot in a hotel room. Maybe there's just a little bit of light, or maybe he's recreated the feeling of the hotel room with 4 or 5 hot lights, continuous lights. Another Kate Moss. Love the hair. Again, it's one of those moments. And we should go back just real quick to Diane von Furstenberg. This just looks like a moment that Diane von Furstenberg is having with herself. She's not posing. She's not trying to look real glamorous. She's not trying to pose. Neither is Kate Moss. Kate Moss is just sitting there. Wind whips the thing in front of her face, and he shoots it. He doesn't stop the shoot, run over and pull it out. He lets it be what it is. Look how it frames her eye there. It's just a little bit of whimsy that works out so beautiful for him. And this is Peter Lindbergh, born in Germany, shoots all over the world for every major fashion magazine. He shoots celebrities. He shoots famous supermodels, and is from all stories I've ever heard about Peter Lindbergh, just a pretty down-to-earth, nice guy who just loves doing what he does. Not a real fancy photographer, but watch the amount of precision that goes into making a Peter Lindbergh shoot when you watch the videos, and I think you'll really enjoy them. The last video's in German, and I could not find a video that was translated. So good luck with that. I don't think it matters for me. What matters is what I see, and I'm a visual guy, and I can get a lot from these videos, whether they're subtitled or not. So enjoy. Peter Lindbergh, one of my very favorite photographers. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.